Alright, fellas. Got a match in the Warspite B, one of the old reliable. It's one of the oldest ships in the oldest ships in the yeah, I guess it is one of the oldest ships in the game. Um Still kicking strong. You know, I do think the Warspite is fine, but honestly it's never been quite as reliable as I think a lot of people find it for me. Um, kind of in line with some of the other ships that are fan favorites that I've played and just never really gotten along with. I do wonder if I just expect too much, Like, oh, I missed a shot here. I'm like, where's the accuracy? Like, I think it may be just a mental thing sometimes. But I also do firmly believe that my Warspite and now Warspite B are firmly cursed. That's kind of why I'm making this video. This honestly has been a rough couple of weeks, and this week has been particularly bad. Just the matchmaking, I know it's a trope, and part of the reason I made this channel was to try to talk through some of this stuff, share my experience with anyone else who might feel the same, or honestly not feel the same. If I can share my misery with someone, sometimes that just helps it feel a little bit better to know that maybe if I can help someone else who's going through the same kind of thing, that maybe there's meaning. Maybe there's meaning to the misery that I've been subjected to this week. And at the end of the day, it's a game. It's supposed to be fun. And honestly, guys, this week has been pretty frustrating. So I've taken a couple of breaks off and on. This is my go-to game. I got 30 minutes. I've done whatever else I need to do. I'm going to play 2 matches. That's just kind of I sit down and play. I think that happens for a lot of us. You get you're dedicated, you're in. It's yeah, what else am I going to do? Let's sink some ships. First of all, on the weak flank, hashtag always the weak flank. Open up with a great salvo on the Dallas. He's sailing broadside. That's what I love to see. I will say back to my earlier comment about the Warspite sometimes kind of letting me down. I've had matches where just feels like the shells just don't cooperate. I get, shatters and overpins and nothing in between. I feel like I've kind of worked through that a little bit. My build, I don't have a picture of my build, so you know what? I'm going to pause right now. I'll add the build. I need the build. There's torps coming. I'm going to dodge them. I'm just hoping. I'm in it at this point. I'll put it in after this. Yep, so okay. Oh, it gets me right under. That's fine. But I get the shot off on the shores. After this shot lands, I'll go at it because, hey, bye shores, have fun. Alright, I'll be right back with the build. Alright, build. AL Nelson, pay to win. 5 heals, AL Colorado, Cunningham. Big 7, which decreases the penetration, but increases the damage. And then running with scissors because, oof. The turret traverse on the Warspite is slow. That's definitely one of my quibbles with it, but running with scissors is alright, and then the big 7 pumps up the damage. And then I kind of realized, oh man, that was so close. Oh, I think it was basically just out of range. One of the things that, the shatter overpin thing, Warspite doesn't actually have amazing penetration anyway, and so I had resisted putting Big 7 on previously because I'm like, oh, if the penetration isn't good, I don't want to make it any lower. But this build has felt more comfortable than a lot of what I've done previously, and I think it's because the penetration on the Warspite is kind of in that area where reducing it by 15% doesn't really matter that much in most scenarios. If it was going to penetrate, it will still penetrate. If it wasn't, it won't. And so you're not really impacting the penetration of your shells in most instances, and you're just getting more damage. I might be wrong with that. I'm certainly not an expert on the Warspite. It's not my favorite ship. I generally prefer the California, Hyuga, and actually prefer the West Virginia to the Warspite in general. But because it's such a beloved ship, and it is cool, it's got the history, I do like the ships that have history and stuff like that. It's not my primary reason for playing this game, but I do think it's interesting, and so this is an interesting ship, and I would like to enjoy playing it, so I've been trying to fiddle around with the build. I like this more than I've liked any other build that I've played with it. It keeps the speed up, it lets you maneuver. That's one of the Warspite's big strengths is that it has a quick rudder, relatively quick rudder. Running with scissors increases that even more, and then it has that insane turning circle. I mean, it's 560, 580 meters, something like that. Like, that is basically a destroyer turning radius. That is really good. That's actually one of the reasons that the turrets, even with turret rotation enhancement, struggle to keep up, is because it just turns so fast. So I try to keep that in mind and not let myself get too frustrated with the turrets when they can't keep up. It's one of my pet peeves that I've mentioned before, is I just really don't like slow turrets. So anyway, all that said, kind of finally dialed in this build after, honestly, I've had the regular Warspite for years now, maybe it's a year and a half, something like that. I kind of got a lot of those premier top tier 5s. I got Hugo California, Warspite, similar time frame, just because I was like, oh, let's just see what all the hype is about. So anyway, that's my build. This match, man. All 3 red destroyers are on this flank, and I've been telling my team that in comms for the whole time. I saw at least 2 racks of torpedoes, and then by this point I'm like, oh, there's 2 torpedoes up north, and there's 1 in B. We have all the destroyers are on this side. We 1C, our Yukikaze goes down for nothing, and it's just like, we have all the destroyers. Here I noticed it a little bit. I'm also lagging in this match. So it has been a brutal week. I've had just the worst luck matchmaking and the worst, like, layout on the thing. You saw, like, our team capped C and then all just pushed through to die. I've been in a solo battleship, spawned on the weak flank. Our destroyer left but did come back, but then got sunk. Our carrier's been doing anything but spotting the destroyers. It's just like, oh my god, can it please? And then the Z51, or sorry, Z51, that's not a ship. Z35, like, he's got, kind of that, I don't know if it's maximum concealment, but it's high concealment, and he goes dark, like, just before I get in range. I think I even paused and checked it. My secondary range is 5.2. I was trying to back up to keep him in vision, to get those casemate guns on him. The Warspite, I've heard little varying things about this, and like, oh, it's just these, just those, it's the main guns, blah 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 blah, like lots of different versions, variations, nuance, slightly like actuallys about its guns. It has some kind of unique special dispersion formulas about some of its guns. I'm not 100% sure which ones they are. I believe the main guns are quite accurate. I think they might be more accurate than normal. And then I believe the secondaries are also a little more accurate than normal. I think it's maybe just the casemate guns. I think it has a few little turrets, and then it also has the casemates. I think just the casemates get the special formula. Maybe they don't. I'm not an expert. I don't use this as a brawling battleship. I've heard that people do, but here, oh brother. You can see it. It's actually, I don't know. I hope it's as noticeable in the playback. I lagged like right as the torpedoes pop up on the screen. So I'm like turning back left, but it doesn't register my input. And then I think it doesn't even register it once I stop lagging. So it's like I lose several seconds of the turn and I eat 2 torpedoes. I think I might have eaten 1 anyway, but I'm almost positive I could have gotten in between the torpedoes in that first set. And so now it's like, great. Not only do I have frustrating matchmaking, frustrating layout on the teams. Yep, I'm frustrated there. Then I get hit with lag. And this has actually been happening to me a lot. This game I played later in the day, it happens to me. It's not every day, but it's often enough, and it's really frustrating. Especially when I'm already a little tilted, honestly. Like this, I just like, come on, y'all. I'm just trying to go to tier 5 and club some seals. It's just like, what is happening? But anyway, I've been basically, the Jervis did come back, bless his heart, and got sunk, so I wasn't quite 1v3 over here, but it's like, on this map, in what world do all 3 destroyers just come over here to bully me? Like, why? Why? It's just, oh man, that's just that kind of stuff all week. And it just it weighs on you after a little bit. Like, it's supposed to be fun, but like, I didn't have, I had fun shooting. I guess You know what? As the attempt to be realistic, I'm guessing that Shores didn't have a lot of fun either. But it's also like, yeah, don't do that. Don't sail broadside when you're spotted without changing course. The Dallas was at least dodging a little bit. Shores was just kind of like, yeah, I'll just take it. There's a lag. There's lag again right there. Oh yeah, my Picardy video. That was the one that was like really getting me too. And it's just, I think it was a similar time of night. This kind of time of day, and that's frustrating. Like, I know War Game is not going to see this, and no one cares, but I'm not going to play this game if it lags like that. You know, everything else I can do something about. I can change it. I can do something about. But that lag, like, that's out of my control. Yep, there's some more on the shot on the Nagato. That's annoying, especially after, you know, this kind of hard-fought game. Yeah, see, there's the shatters that I'm talking about, and again, like, it's a tier ship battleship. I have reduced my my armor penetration, so that's not totally unreasonable. But I was getting a lot of those even without Big 7, and it was really driving me nuts. But now that I have the extra damage, like, it doesn't feel so bad. Yeah, more shatters, more shatters. I can't see exactly what I'm hitting. I might be hitting turret faces, whatever. But I found that to be a... Aim's all over the place. Found that to be a drawback with the Warspite. Anyway, the Queen Elizabeth actually has better penetration than the Warspite does. I like the Queen Elizabeth. I haven't played it in ages, but it was one of my favorite tech tree ships. So anyway, get the Nagato. You know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. This match was really frustrating for me. At the end of a long set of frustrations, just the setup, the 3-on-1 destroyers. Oh, there's the turret rotation. I think I got the salvos off, get another hit. You know, sinkfall, shatter. You know, California's got amazing, whatever, belt armor. Anyway, might have hit a turret, but I remember when I started, the whole overmatch, everything was a little confusing to me. Warspite has great overmatch, but it actually doesn't have great penetration, so it is what it is. Yeah, this game's done. Unless we get a solo warrior carrier. Spoiler alert, not gonna happen. And there's the teams. Please.